I'm John Dickerson. The New York primary is 2 days away, and according to our CBS News Battleground Tracker, the forecast is looking good for the frontrunners. Donald Trump leads the Republican field by more than 30 points, and Ted Cruz and John Kasich are in a tight race for second. Pennsylvania holds its primary in 10 days, and things look promising in the Keystone State for Donald Trump, too. He has a 20-point lead at 46%. Cruz and Kasich are in a close race for second with 26 and 23% support among Republican primary voters. California is one of the last stops on the primary calendar. It could be where Donald Trump goes over the top with the 1,237 delegates he needs to secure the nomination. He's ahead there too with 49% support. Ted Cruz comes in at 31% and John Kasich is at 16%. Turning now to the race for the Democratic nomination, Hillary Clinton spent most of her weekend in California. Our Battleground Tracker has her up there by 12 points over Bernie Sanders, 52 to 40%. And in her adopted home state of New York, she holds on to her 10-point lead. 53% of Democratic primary voters say they'll support her, and 43% are going for Bernie Sanders. As for Bernie Sanders' weekend, he is back from his trip to the Vatican, where he met briefly with Pope Francis, and he joins us now from New York. Welcome, Senator. What's happened to the Democratic race there? The New York Times described you as having a ferocious performance in the debate this week.
Ferocious, I'm not quite sure what that word means. I think what's happened is that, I have become a little bit tired of being beaten up by the negativity of the Clinton campaign, and we're responding in kind. Look, the differences that we have in how we raise money. She has super PACs and raises a whole lot of money from Wall Street and other powerful special interests. She is for a $12 minimum wage. That's not good enough. I am for a $15 an hour minimum wage. Her views on foreign policy, whether it's the war in Iraq, Libya, Syria, are very different than mine. Her views on fracking, whether or not we'll have clean water in the United States of America and around the world, are very different than mine. So I think what we are doing, I am doing, is making it very clear that my views are out there, representing the needs of working families, the middle class, and I am prepared to take on powerful special interests.
What negativity has got you so irritated from Hillary Clinton?
Oh, you name it. I mean, she came into, after we have won 8 out of 9 caucuses and primaries, I think they made it very clearly that what their goal was, and I think I quote appropriately here, disqualify, defeat, and then reunite the party later on. They've gone after us in every single area in a way that just misrepresents my views. The idea that they have said in the past that I attack Planned Parenthood, when I regard Planned Parenthood, for example, as one of the great organizations in this country. I want to expand funding for Planned Parenthood. But on and on it goes. But I think what you're seeing now is there are real differences of opinion between Secretary Clinton and myself. And probably most significantly is we raised 7 million individual campaign contributions, more than any candidate in American history at this point, averaging $27. She is out there raising money from the wealthy and the powerful. And I think you can judge a candidate based on how you raise money and who you ultimately become dependent upon.
Let me ask you about that. In the debate, you were asked to name an example where the money she raised from Wall Street had influenced her, and you didn't offer an example. She said that proved the attack was phony.
Well, first of all, I did offer an example, but second of all, let me offer another one now. She voted for a bad bankruptcy piece of legislation, which benefited Wall Street at the expense of hard-pressed consumers in this country. That's an example. But what you never can say, John, just because you vote for something, that was caused by something else.
But isn't that the implication of what you're offering in your critique of her? Isn't that kind of what you're saying?
No, well, the broader critique is after Wall Street's greed and illegal behavior destroyed our economy and drove us into a major recession, in my view, the proper response and the response of many economists and many Americans is, look, these people are running a fraudulent operation. We can't trust them. They have too much wealth. They have too much power, too much concentration of ownership. The proper response, my view then, my view today, is break them up. That is not Hillary Clinton's response. That is the best example, but bankruptcy legislation is another piece of legislation where she was on the wrong side of the issue.